We started this hike on top of that peak, well, 3,900 feet down from that peak, and slowly we've made our way all the way up to here. We're currently at about 10,300 feet. There's no oxygen up here, and it's been an awesome journey. I am Wood Glue, and this is another adventure on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm on a dirt road where I just left my car, and tomorrow morning we will be at mile 178 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Goblin got here ahead of me, and she's already at camp, and that's just a little ways up this road. I believe this is road 5S11. Not really sure about that, but I'll post it. The car route to here brought us all the way to the end of Tahquitz View Drive, and this is an adventure over the San Jacinto Peak. So this will last for 3 nights and 3 days, and my buddy Gustavo was supposed to make this trip, but he's arranged instead to meet us on the north end at mile 209 or so, and pick us up there, bring us back down this way to our cars. So we're just above Idyllwild, and the sights are amazing. Fantastic views here as the sun's about to set. So this is a water tank, and it's about 1 mile up from Tahquitz View Drive on road 5S11, and this was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting to see any water here. So a little tiny leak, and it's just enough. I can smell kind of a sulfur smell, but if you needed water, this is a good spot. So I found Goblin in the woods. There's a goblin in the bushes. We are at the top of the dirt road, and we're right near the South Ridge trailhead. So this is a yellow post campsite, and there's only 3 of these in the area, so you got to be lucky enough to get one. So we're headed out of camp, and we are at the trailhead for South Ridge Trail. We're going to be going up this thing. It's pretty steep, all the way up to Tahquitz Peak. We'll be up there, I'm guessing, in 3-4 hours, something like that. It's under 4 miles, but it's over 3,000 feet of climb. So it's gonna be a awesome view when we get to the top, you know that.
last night didn't get nearly as cold as we thought. It was, I would guess it probably got down to 40 or 45 degrees only, and it was actually a little warm in the sleeping bag and tent, but the wind was just roaring all night long. And despite all the hiking we've done, this is kind of our first go with big wind, so learning experience. A little bit of a rough night. Nonetheless, we hit the trail this morning and got out of camp at about 7 o'clock and headed up South Ridge Trail. And this was a pretty good trail, actually. On the map it was a little intimidating. Lots of switchbacks, lots of climbing, and all in all we still climbed over 3,000 feet in the span of less than 4 miles. So there's a lot of climbing, but the trail was handling the climb pretty good. You know, for not being the PCT, the South Ridge Trail had a lot of PCT qualities in that it's smooth, you know, gradual switchbacks, that kind of thing. One thing I've seen, when you get off the PCT, you never know what you're going to get with a trail. The Catalina Island, for example, there aren't any switchbacks. It's just straight up and straight down. So I was half expecting that here, but pretty pleased to see a well-maintained trail. There's, I mean, formal stairs in the trail and everything. Pretty cool. We are up at the summit of Tahquitz Peak right now, and we're just out behind the lookout tower. It's closed for renovation right now, but we found this nice flat spot and thought we would try to have some lunch here. Coming up the South Ridge Trail, we ended up running into a lady by the name of Shannon, and really cool, and she had her dog with her named Cappy, and turns out she heads up a meetup group, and this was a meetup and she was the only one that came, but she told us about the group, and it was Dog Friendly SoCal, and she's on the meetup pages with that. But check it out, and can't imagine what it's like to walk the trail with a bunch of hikers and their dogs. But it sure was fun to watch Cappy, and only a 1-year-old puppy, coming up the trail and picking up sticks and hauling them around, and pretty neat. Anyway, from here we are headed down to the PCT. It's only 0.6 of a mile from here down to the PCT, and we'll be at mile 178. And then we just have a few miles to go to get to tonight's camp. We cut the miles short on today because of the big climb that we had, and so we're going to be camped at 181, something like that. So we're headed down off of Tahquitz Peak now. We're headed back to the PCT, and check this view out. Just amazing, man. Everything that we read before coming onto this South Ridge Trail was that it's an exposed trail and it's very hot, and do it early in the morning and that kind of thing. So we left camp at 7 a.m., which is pretty early for us, and we've seen nothing but shade and cold the whole time. We're in my puffy right now. That's pretty rare while I'm walking. Anyway, we're gonna go see if we can find a camp at 181 or so, and we may talk about hiking up to the summit today and back down the other side, just for something to do. We only scheduled 7 miles into this day, and there's still a lot of day left, and we're pretty much done with those miles here in the next couple. Time will tell what we're gonna do.
Okay, so Goblin and I got into our camp location. We're at like mile 181, something like that. And we set up our tent, and I took a nice little nap because all that wind last night, I didn't get very good sleep. So I caught up, and now no pack, I'm slack packing, and we are headed up to Wellman Cienega, and this is a spring that's along the San Jacinto Mountain alternate trail. So you leave PCT at 181-ish, and you head north as if you're going up to the San Jacinto Peak, and like 6/10 of a mile later there's the Wellman Cienega. We are getting just enough water to cook our dinner tonight and make it through the morning, because in the morning we head back out through this way, and we'll get our water for the day tomorrow. But other than that, you gotta check out this view. Isn't that amazing? And all the clouds on the west side of the mountains are barely getting over into the desert. The sun's about to go down, but we are in our camp now, and this is mile 181, something like that, and almost level sites. A fire pit here, but all in all, it's been a good day. We're gonna sleep really well, I'm sure of it. We climbed, I don't know, 4,000 feet today. Now we're having a chicken and rice dinner. Really good stuff. And with that, see you in the morning. Good morning. We are here at Wellman Cienega again, and we've just left out of our camp about 7:15 this morning. We got a really good night's sleep last night. It was the wind picked up right as we went to bed, but you can't sleep bad 2 nights in a row. So I slept like a baby. Anyway, we have a big mile day in front of us today. We're about 3 miles from the San Jacinto Peak, and then we're going up to, we're not going up anymore after that. We're going down to the PCT, and we'll catch that at, I think it's 185, something like that. And then we're gonna get a little bit of water there,
so we don't have to camel up too bad here because our next water's 6 or 8 miles away. And then after that we go to our camp, and we're camped at 197. So it's all in all about a 17-mile day, and just a little bit of up in that, and that's this part right here, climbing up to the peak of San Jacinto.
There's no oxygen up here. So we're a slack pack again. We left our packs down at the bottom of the trail. This is the Peak Trail that we're on. So we left the San Jacinto Peak alternate trail, and now we're headed up a Peak Trail. So this will be up a third of a mile and then back down to our packs. All in all, pretty dang tired. The oxygen level here is just nil, and luckily the weather's cool, but you just can't breathe. So see you on the peak. So we're on top of San Jacinto Peak, and tomorrow about this time, 24 hours from now, we will be right there in the sun's screen. This is our view. Highway 10. All the windmills down there. All the way down the valley. This is all Palm Springs area and Cabazon and that kind of stuff on this side. So now we join the PCT. This is Fuller Ridge, and we're at 185.7, I think, and this makes it official. Coming down off of San Jacinto was a hard haul. You know, it's a lot of work going uphill, but downhill really works your knees and ankles, and that hasn't ended yet. We've kind of ended the switchbacks and hopefully stepping over the boulders and stuff like that. That's a pretty tough trail. That's a Deer Springs Trail, and it goes up the west side, so lots of people climbing up that thing. but I couldn't imagine doing that. We've had lots of cool people that we've come across, day hikers, walking up the trail, and that's half the fun out here. You know, getting to talk to these people and learn their story. And there's an older couple, probably in their mid-60s, 70s, something like that. And they stayed at Tamarack Valley last night, climbed up to the peak, and now they're heading down, and they're gonna camp somewhere down near where we are. And then came across a couple ladies who were just doing San Jacinto for fun, and it's really a training hike for them for doing Mount Whitney and San Gregorio and Mount Baldy and San Jacinto. All that, they're going to do all that in 1 year, one summer. So pretty cool people, fun stories. So we're just coming off of San Jacinto, and that was a pretty crowded place up there on the top. You know, there's probably room for 15 or 20 people up there, and I think by the time we left, there's like 70, 80 people up there. It's just crazy. It's Memorial Day weekend, so what can you expect? On our way up there, though, we did go into the cabin and check that out. This is an emergency shelter. All kinds of emergency equipment for evacuation. Bunk beds. Enough for 4 people. Plus whatever you want to sleep on the floor.
And a postcard.
Bighorn sheep.
Yep.
Emergency supplies. Very cool. And there's trail logs. We'll have to fill that out.
Should you elect to enter the cabin, how can you help? Build no fires in the cabin or anywhere in the park.
So how do you know when you're on the world-class Pacific Crest Trail? And there's a formal granite staircase. Pretty amazing. These guys built this, I don't know how many years ago. 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Pretty cool. Mount San Gregorio, way out there.
that's where we were about 3 hours ago, up there. Needless to say, it's some major downhill walking. This is where we just came from. We just came from way up there. All the way up there. San Jacinto Mtn. How's that for PCT? We are coming down into the desert now. It's very apparent. There's San Jacinto off in the distance. But now we're in the manzanita and cactus and all kinds of wild desert flowers. And it'll get more deserty before it's over. So it's almost 6 o'clock. And we're still walking. We left camp at 7:15 this morning, and that was in plenty of time for us to get 17 miles done before sundown. The problem is we spent a lot of time climbing this morning. That first 4 miles out of camp, the altitude, lack of oxygen and all that, you know, it had us moving pretty slow. So a little bit paying for it now. It's sun's gonna be going down here pretty soon. And we still got 3 miles to go to get to our camp. We're in super desert area now. It's not like very few pine trees and stuff like that. We're coming down into just rocks and brush now. We've seen quite a few thru-hikers. We passed one camp location and there were thru-hikers in that. And we're going down the road a little bit farther so that tomorrow we will only have an 8 or 11 mile day. Meeting up with Gustavo. He so graciously decided to drive all the way out here to pick us up, and we're grateful for that. See you in camp. So we're sitting here marveling at something. This is our camp, and we're just off the trail. The trail's right up there, but we were up there at 11:20 this morning. We left the peak and it's 6:30 now. So in 7 hours we've climbed down that, which is a total of 5,581 feet.
And it feels like that.
Yeah, our feet are kind of worked. Speaking of feet. But it's gonna be pretty cool to wake up in the morning and see that monster out the tent door. And then it was morning. We are camped somewhere like 193, something like that. And we're just now breaking down camp. And we're gonna get out of here and head down the hill. because we cut our day short yesterday, we added a couple miles to today. So instead of being 11 miles today, we're 13. And it's pretty warm. It's probably 75, 80 degrees right now. And we are probably going to see 90, 95 before we end our trip here. So we have lots of water. I did this hike last year and made a mistake of not having enough water. Went 9 miles on 1 liter of water. Now I've got about 4 liters of water. But we can hand water out if we need to. Look at this. You can see the trail way down there. All the way down there. That flat part down there, they call it the frying pan. And we're about to learn why. It's super hot down there. Goblin says it's mid-70s right now. And it's nice and cool in the shade. Unfortunately, there is no shade the whole way down. Go on rattlesnake watch. So we're right above the campsite at mile 201.1, and see it there. There's a lot of bees at mile 202.03. So I've come across a safer way to go about it. Goblin has allergy to these bee stings, and she does not have an EpiPen. So we're gonna get off the PCT here and get into this campground, and we're gonna spit out the back of the campground, and we'll find our way back to PCT at mile 203.
gonna go this way, go to the left. It's less sticky.
You might be able to walk around that way if you want. Oh, right here.
Along the rock or something. This is what it would be like if there wasn't PCT. It's stuck. We're slacking every day. This is Woodloo making sure we're not lost.
Alright, so it's not all fun and roses and stuff, but we made it through. Almost, not quite. We saw a dead deer, like a mountain lion or something, caught it. There's the PCT. Yeah. And now we're at PCT like 202.5, half a mile away from the Bee Hive. Not a bad way to go.
Are you guys gonna sleep here tonight?
No, we're going down to the road some morning.
So here we are, the end of our journey. We made it down to the water fountain. Goblin's still filtering because
This is so awesome.
we're walking down to meet Gustavo. This road that goes up to the water fountain, paved road, it's not accessible by car unless you got a key to the gate at the bottom, and we don't. So we are gonna meet up with him, and we'll find ourselves at a nice restaurant somewhere. Mexican food we've been talking about for about 15 miles. Maybe pizza. We're talking about pizza too, and
Pizza, beer,
What
margaritas, we
else?
don't care.
In and Out, Del Taco. Man, we'll take it. I'll take a picture of ice water right now.
Seriously. It's craziness.
My buddy Gustavo came to pick me up.
Our hero.
I love you, dude. I love you, dude.
You love me.
Because you came to get us. You didn't strand us.
I'm a lovable guy.
You're lovable.
Oh, you smell good too.
Yeah, you smell good.
You smell so much better than us.
Of course.
Of course you do.
I've been in civilization for
Right?
Civilization.
You have to climb over the rocks to like it.
To get your backpack through. Is the water on? Yeah, the water faucet? It was working.